Daily Thetha on SABC 1. Nakalibitso ke na Nicolette wa Gamashile. Ngwana wa kwa Bush Patrick Mapulaneng. Yena re tshwareleng lona leme la matsogo ke Sesi Fortune wa Gamadlala. Pulelo ya lekgono mo gae ke kgatanyego ya motlhagase. Na ka kgwedi ya May 2016, mo presidente wa peleng Tate Jacob Zuma o ile a re tshepisa gore load shedding e tla ba ya fela. But we are in the third month ya 2020 and already ra khona go bona gore load shedding a felo. To the point where mo president wa rona o ile wa sola bo menemene go Eskom gore something must be up at Eskom. He does not understand what's actually going on. Ka sona sona ya this year o ile a re botsa gore what's happening in South Africa ke gopela gore le gotlhelele because leswisi la rona a le felo.
Ngegama ke umele kwami yaqwanile sibe uzizi lona futhi namhlanje njoba sikhuluma ngabantu abasha aba-affected by ukuhamba kwagesi and inkinga enkulu because abantu abasha abafundayo komabhizinisi nabo bayathinteka and sifuna ukwazi ukuthi bathinteka kanjani mhlambe singafika kanjani kwi-situation la singakwazi ukuchintsha yonke into lesi that we are going through as abantu abasha ukuphinde ukhumbule futhi ukuthi lana ke sithola ithuba ukuthi sikhulume nawe wena mbukeli osekhaya ngegama ke na ukhumbule ukuthi la ku Daily Thetha sebenzisa hashtag which is Daily Thetha on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Nakhona futhi abane airtime bakwazi ukusifonela in studio. Number 18.
01133911315. Melody, I think for Naso where does this load shedding come from? Because we speak about Hore when she was deputy minister, energy, Ms. Susan Shabangwa, she really already had given us a forewarning Hore we are going to have a crisis starting in 2007. But it just feels like nobody did anything about it. How are we sitting in 2020? Renali problem ya motlhagase.
And ukhuluma kahle because lento yabikwa ngo1998. Kodwa ke yazi ngicabanga out imphethe thengisa ama ice. Yazi abantu abathengisa ama ice pack. Ugesi uhambe. Ayamelta business liyaphansi. Bese ke kwenzakalani kwi-economy yethu?
That's my biggest problem. Na ke la net ka traffic. Ke la ka network. Have you seen our networks during load shedding?
Lalela angena ama call. Uzogcina ulahle emjolweni bathi hayi awuthole kwena ubobalekile.
No, thina sijoli. Let's welcome our studio audience.
So njengoba siqala lana sifuna ukuhamba uku-understand ukuthi kwabantu abasha bro wami uyazi ukuthi kahle kahle yini into bayibiza nge-load shedding nge-understanding yakho.
Yeah, ngathi ngiyazi nge-understanding encane.
Awungichazele kancane.
Igama usamukelo wakamia eBergville. Ngicabanga ukuthi load shedding inkinga kagesi lesinayo njengamanje la eMzansi ikakhulukazi. Engicabanga ukuthi bangwa ukuthi uEskom akanayo amalahle or i-product eningi yokuproduce ugesi. Futhi ngicabanga ukuthi it also involve political sabotage ukuthi politics lapha kwi-politics
Okay, but umathi ngifake wena njengomuntu omusha ik-affecta kanjani into bebathi load shedding?
Sure. Mina lina la Katepinyo, Gemba from Pampristad, ka Northern Cape. Na jaka motho mosha e le ke iphitlhela no yana ke dula mo Johannesburg Central. Ntho e ba maphelo a rona kotsing gobane o ka fitlhela go motlakase o ile o tima o sa le around town. And ke tsela e le goreng ditsotsi di bona as an opportunity ho hama batho ba ile go ba around. Sometimes you feel your life le yona e ba kotsing.
And yazobeka iphuzo elimnandi and elibalekile because of course ubugebengu kuyakhuphuka ngesikhathi lana ugesi uhambe khona. Igebengu sesiphuma ehlahleni seziwe emabhilidini bafunana nemali zethu. Angazi Nicolette ikhalo ngakwena sithini?
Melody, I think nasa go tlala ko re nagana gore unemployment especially ba swing mo South Africa it's just a lot already. And if you look at Losa Sandile Sibeko, our load shedding has cost me a job. I'm from Nhlanzanche in Mpumalanga and when there's no electricity a gona network. I just received a message after the load shedding that I missed a call from an 013 number and when I called it they said bankile somebody else. How painful is that, Poppy? And I know Hurlu and a story relating to something ka business to how.
Yes, I was Nicolette. Na ke rekisa magwinya in the morning. I sell breakfast in the morning. And I sell a couple of things. So if there's no electricity, I can't all saying because now holy fifi, I cannot make because I can alternative like power. So ke tshepile yona electricity. So I can't wake up in the morning. I can't wait I lose money, and then leading to take a freezing. Dia senior as abuta chilo di ice and whatever. Dia senior dia melt, and I have to usually kidije because there's no other way I could do it.
So Poppy, re o mamela presidente a re ko rona ko sona gotlhelelang. They will find a solution. How long are you giving the government gore ba kry a solution?
I mean, bona banale solution for their own lives because they can afford it. What about Rune Mona in the like your everyday people?
Yeah.
Harina solution. We sitting here, Harina chele and Kamona, they always saying Yetan the small business saloon. Yetan whatever to get out of whatever poverty. So imagine if it was none.
I think Lungelo, you've got a similar story to Poppy. A re botsa ga go story papa.
Ikamang Lungelo. Istory sam dine studio, home studio endlini. Kuke kwahamba ugesi, I think last week umbane wahamba uthe xa ubuya kube kunomuntu oproducer endlini and the-artist zikhona. Kwavela kwatsha izinto zonke like iscreen isichile, ibox ichile, which is imali ayikho. So asiyazi baso sizophinda sizibuyisele ngantoni. Mina sithathe kule mali esiyisavile ukuba sithengele box spinner sitenge ifuthi.
Yo, I askisa butwaka. Maybe re kenne mo ga se senkateko explain to me gore nagana gore yona load shedding yo e tswa kae.
Okay, inkateko ka nkwini ka uma waterfall mina nhleketa gore e timhaka to vanhu va nga hakeli gezi na vanhu lava va bridge ku magezi. Yeah, iso si affecta ku ngopfu gore ku va na timhaka ta load shedding.
Ke pomang ba sa hakele.
Vanhu lava
We wa hakela gezi.
mina na hakela la ntshama kona na hakela. So I think vanhu lava ka nga hakeli ku gezi naswona swa va affect because hey economically hey katika.
Yeah. I katika very seriously because at the end of the day I will affect the one person, Melody, and I think that's really important for us to understand. Gore gezi each haba mo South Africa, re chabela mostly all of us, right? Load shedding affect most of us, but I think that's why, you know, this topic is so important. Because at the end of the day, so understand gore each load shedding and how then do we find those solutions because ra kwa ba re gona le power station tse ba di yagang akere so ge ba le busy ba yagang le power station why are they having a conversation about alternative options?
And of course nakona singabala nje various stations that have been built over the years and how the young people are crying about crime, they're crying about the inconvenience and also they're crying about the education element that is affected. But we get to unfold this in the second segment when we come back after the ad break. Welcome of course back to Daily Thetha la ku SABC 1. Ukhumbule ke ukuthi namhlanje sikhuluma ngenkinga esinayo kagesi that affects abantu abasha la eSouth Africa. And also we want to step back sikhulume kancane ukuthi when you look back to our history eSouth Africa ukuthi kahle kahle iqale phi lento. Wazi ukuthi understand ukuthi impela impela bathi load shedding yini le. And for umuntu ongazi 2007 being the first year as Nicolette mentioned earlier on the show la qale khona experience load shedding. But of course just more understanding Nicolette from this perspective.
I think maybe re ke ntsa botset gore a gone gore explain gore na load shedding yo e tswa kae.
Kana ke load shedding.
A ke tsebele go tseba ka ba go explainela kopela
I was never taught even under Bantu education about load shedding. So I come from the Bantu education era, and I was never taught about that.
Yeah.
And maybe just because I learned under candlelight.
Okay.
And after that I learned in prison.
Okay.
And in prison there was never load shedding.
Of course not.
And there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
And besides that, maybe let us just become real.
Yeah.
That now when we negotiated in 1994, when we started to reconstruct and develop South Africa anew,
yes,
we needed to take note of some of the challenges that are going to be facing us.
Yes.
And one of those was partly supposed to be energy, and we didn't. We needed to look at issues such as land, and when you talk about land, you talk about also issues that go with land.
Of course.
Energy
is one of those.
Is one of those things, and we didn't. There are many issues that in 1994 we put under carpet, many of them. and they're coming out now. And they're coming out on our face.
Yeah.
And the problem is that we tend to, we have ignored, you know, these issues that now are making us and our children to not even enjoy, you know, the so-called freedom that we have.
But Thetha, I want to ask you a question because our...
More Orlando East, for instance, just before you even go far.
Yeah.
We had a power station. There's something that is going around, and now lately more social media, that there were 2 towers and 12 other small towers, where we had our own power supply. But come 1994, those were closed down. Why did we do that? Why didn't we offer jobs? Why didn't we use that to supply more energy?
Okay, but what's the question, Nikio? Or we didn't do anything about those things. We didn't consider them. But if you look back, the ANC had a campaign at that time. And their campaign in 1994 was free electricity, or at least subsidized electricity for the poor and the working class. So did they think about it, or was it just for voter favor?
Nake, I've got a problem, Mwanaka.
Okay.
Let me just tell you something. It is the people. I hate to Sowetanise the problem of energy.
Okay.
It's not an issue about Soweto.
Okay.
It's a national disaster.
Yeah.
Let us de-Sowetanise it.
Yeah.
Having said that,
Yes.
it was in 2017, 2017, when the people of Soweto approached this government and discussed in parliament, and they did nothing out of it. Yeah. That was the report. That was the report that was a public that came from the public enterprise minister.
Yes.
And can I tell you, if you go to page, and it's free education. And hashtag free education.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where they even spoke about this. This was at around page 8 and 9 or so.
Yes.
Not only did we do that, we met with NERSA.
Yes.
Look at this.
Yes.
Read the date.
2017.
Not only did we do that, we met with how many of the government officials?
Okay, that is it.
It goes on.
That is it. And I think that is it. The receipt.
Yeah.
But we need to understand. Maybe we can take it to the Veshka, that side, to get an understanding. What then happened? Because we've got a problem. We're sitting with a load shedding problem. But can we just get a little bit more context? I think that this has started the conversation. Maybe we can go to the Veshka to just get a bit of more context as to why we ended up here.
Okay. I think for my...
No, it's on. You can speak.
I think for my experience, I started off my career at the power station when the load shedding started in 2007. And we found that many of the experienced engineers then started to panic when the situation got political. Many of them left the country. So the in-house expertise went out of ESCOM itself. So we started bringing in the younger, inexperienced people, like myself, just got out of university, who needed to be led down the path of experience. But there was no mentorship there.
So they left because?
Because they saw the political unrest that was revolving around what was happening.
And this is in 2007?
Starting from 2007, maybe prior to that, but my career started off there, so I can only speak from there.
Yes.
And as the years went by, these experienced people, they referred to as greybeards at ESCOM, started to get restless, started to get agitated with the way things were running. Things were becoming political. It wasn't about what was happening, about the crisis that was looming. And they just left. They resigned, they left the country. You will hear about it across media, that a lot of these engineers have left.
Yeah. But Devashka, when you are arriving at the power stations, you're a new and a young engineer, what are they saying is the problem? Other than the political, because for an issue like this to become politicized, it means that there was already an issue, right?
Yeah.
Because I think, what was existing? What was the problem?
Maintenance. So I was at a return to service, previously mothballed power station.
Okay.
But it was the maintenance issues. I mean, these issues drag. You get organizations such as ESCOM that are elephants.
Yes.
To make one decision, it'll take them 2 months. that lag has now caught up with us because the decisions are so slow that maintenance, breakdown maintenance, could never be done without a big meeting being held in order to do it. So for me, it was very slow. It boiled over time.
Yeah.
And that has led to where we are.
Can I just bring in Doc here? I mean, if we take it back to how far this problem stretched, I mean, we sat with this, the white paper, of course, when it was discussed in 1998, the warnings were put out to say, guys, this is coming, it's forthcoming, it's katakonasis of figure. And I'm sitting and saying, in that, we're still new in our freedom also. At what point did we disconnect from that and reacting to it when it came out?
Inkinga ka-Eskom, inkinga yemali. Ngoba abaphathi be-ANC bangenwa uthando lwemali njengoba kusho iBhayibheli. Manje u-Eskom bawusebenzisela amathenda namakontraki. Njengokuthi nje ama-CEO oqala abantu abamnyama oThulani Gcabashe, oJacob Maruga, beyinika amabonus amamiliyoni, angithi yabo. And then masengena imali sebejikela thina abantu abahluphekile. Sebethi asikhokhe. Shuthi ke Soweto ke ngabo 1996 kuya ku2000 uEskom waqala manje wacishela abantu.
Ugesi.
Ethi uEskom mawungakhokhanga noma mhlambe unesikweletu uyacisha. Wathi uEskom ngelinye ilanga ucisha at the rate of 20,000 houses per month.
But
okusho ukuthi kwakuzoba mnyama eSoweto.
Kusesoweto kuphela la bekunale or at that time did you hear ukuthi bekunenkinga kwamanye?
Wayecisha yonke indawo. Kodwa ke ngenxa ukuthi iSoweto iyazondwa ngenxa yehistory yomzabalazo okuyimela kwathiwa aqalwe ngayo shuthi inyoka ishawe ekhanda ngithi bathi abaqede ngeSoweto and then wonke amalokishi oGugulethu onyanga oLamontville omlazi bazongena ngaphansi.
Doctor, ke go gopela o botsisa question as motho o tswang maybe outside of Gauteng.
Yeah.
As I understanding taba ya Soweto, can you just quickly o re botsa yona gore because a lot of us re nagana taba ya this crisis ya electricity re nagana gore okay ke Soweto e etsang gore this must happen. Can you quickly just a little bit tell us gore why Soweto is at the forefront of this conversation?
iSoweto nje inkinga ukuthi iyalwa iyakushuthi ukhumbule phela ukuthi emakhaya ugesi into yamanje. Kahle na iSoweto ugesi into yamanje angithi yabo. Ya ngoba ngaphansi kweapartheid ngaphansi kwecolonialism umuntu omnyama ubengawutholi ugesi. Yeah. So waqala emadrobheni futhi waqala koSoweto ngoba kuyaliwa angithi. Yeah. Manje ke ugesi mawusufika le ngakithi enquthu kwaZulu angithi. Sekufika sengathi yigugu. Hawu sithola ugesi siyabonga. Kanti thina eSoweto dala sinawo futhi dala sawulwela. So ke mase beqala benze lento zabo zokwakha iprofit ngogesi kuxhashazwa ogogo, kuxhashazwa omkhulu, silwa angithi kwathiwa asibulali iSoweto. Le ngakithi enquthu bona basajabula hawu Nkosi yami wesibiya sinogesi angithi yabo. Kodwa ngizwile ukuthi ngoJanuary le enkandla beshaya itoyitoyi nabo belela ini ugesi.
Sure, that is
Uyayizwa le ndaba ukuthi ngempela ithinta ekhaya. Cabanga ugogo athi uye ekliniki uyamphelezela njengomzukulu ufika ukuthi ikliniki ivaliwe and ukuthi egcineni uyena lo gogo bekalwela inkululeko yeSouth Africa. Lamhlanje ugogo is affected.
It's quite interesting gore ulwela ka clinic Melody because already the state of some of our state hospitals is in dire, you know. So gunagana ro go tima gesi, what happens? Do they even have generators? But coming right after the break, we're talking to the National Secretary of NUMSA and we want to know the NUMSA Youth Forum understand gore bona position ya bona ke eng ka yona taba yo ya gesi. Please stay with us after the break.
Sesibuyile ke la ku Thetha ku SABC 1 ke njoba kulesibili siqhubeka nenkulumo yethu nabantu abasha, but also not just talking to abantu abasha in studios. Funa ukuza ukuthi la emgaqweni bathini, akuza ukuthi uThepha uzwe bathini emgaqweni.
Daily Thetha family dumelang le bitsa ka tshepo khomare jalo ka tloelo re strateng ka shekole ke tlo bua le batho ba batjha ka taba ya load shedding re batla ho utlwisisa gona jalo ka batho ba batjha load shedding e affecta bophelo ba bona jwang haeba wa sebetsa yo affecta jwang mosebetsing haeba motho dilang hae yo affecta jwang ha o dutse hae ene re batla ho tseba le ho batjha gona ba bona government ya gona ba nka taba e serious kapa ke nthonyana fela e ba sa inkeleng hlong ke tse ding tsa ntho tse re di botsang tse strateng tlo le go. We just want to find out, we see you're running a business here. As an entrepreneur, how are you affected by the prevalent load shedding in South Africa at the moment?
Basically, the area like Maboning, where I'm operating at, it's for food and entertainment. So people who usually come here for those, and then once there's no electricity, then they find like there's no need for them to come to an area like Maboning. So it's more like we're operating for nothing when there's no electricity. And the other thing is we use CAD machines for transactions, which is you can't make any transaction with the card machine that is off. So that's what we face, like usually when there's no electricity.
I can't charge my things. My phone is always low, so I can't get a hold of my contacts, or my contacts can't get a hold of me for a specific time frame, and that usually puts a strain on business, you see.
We can't even study because you have to sleep. You have to wake up in the morning.
For my hustle, it's bad. Most of the time, we can't cook at home.
It's affecting us too much because when there's no electricity, there are no customers. We can't make coffee, we can't make anything.
Some young people are saying our government doesn't take this load shedding seriously because government officials themselves are very privileged. They've got generators and so on. Do you think that might be the case?
I think the case with load shedding, it's a bunch of individuals actually wanted to take more from the end user, which is us, everybody that's around here. So they're gonna increase the rates so that they can provide more electricity, which is a scam, really.
I don't think they take it serious because they are sorted. They've got the money, they've got the funds, they've got generators. So if they've got lights, whether the power is on or off, they're not gonna really be worried with the next person. And I'm very sorry to say that, but that's the blind truth, because if you are having a lot of money, I mean, you're working for government, you're making money, you have your generator, you can always organize yourself to get lights, get your food cooked, or whatever the case may be. Lang puma khona indle eyi-1 ene-generator, and in all like Zola yonke asinawo ugesi kune-generator eyi-1. So I don't feel ukuthi like le nto abayenzayo i-right kuthina because asinawo la ma-generator abawasebenzisayo.
There's some suggestion that the government must privatize, electricity supply in South Africa. Do you think if we have like private players that can help us end load shedding?
Okay, in terms of that, it's a slippery slope. I mean, it hasn't been done before. We've been using Eskom as just one figure in terms of providing electricity. But I feel like the only solution would be moving from using coal to using other means. We've recently heard about nuclear energy, solar, and all of those things. So yeah, man, there's quite a lot we can do to substitute that.
Ke ba bane ba so ba e blabela gore na bona ba fila byang ka yona this energy crisis that we're facing in South Africa right now. And I think it's important for us to understand gore at the end of the day, we as South Africans collectively have to find some sort of a solution, because we see businesses are crippling, we see crime is going to be increasing, go na le traffic, go na le network problems, and I think Devashka kind of put it there gore there is a maintenance issue, but sonte re tshebe gore na maintenance issue yo e bereka ga gore do we even actually have the right infrastructure? We do have a social media coming in from David Chabalala. I work at home a lot and after hours, and it's crippled my freelance work. International clients are trying to understand how I don't have electricity. Lol. I think that's very funny, because Australia also has a load shedding issue. So I don't think this load shedding issue is a new phenomena. But we should be asking, is it normal, Melody, for a country outside South Africa, a developing country, should be having a load shedding crisis? And perhaps maybe we can, before we bring it to our studio audience, let's take a caller. We've got Andrew from Dobsonville. Dumela buti Andrew. Re gona le kae papa? Re kgopela o kene straight tabeng.
And you work until more sensitive, and in Tasha Pelu, day and every day, regular experience at this day. ntse ke mametse ntate Tshepo mo a bua on the TV. Ntho e buang e ntashitse. O buile lentswe a re ha ba ya ho negotiation about our country e re phelang ho yona. Some things will sit down. No one has to know. You understand? Now we look into this. Okay, ANC ke bona ba tshwereng dikapo. They can control everything in our own soil.
Yeah.
But now it comes to a point now, they experience this crisis here, this load shedding. And then Mr. Kotemantashe went on national TV and said, Corey, they are willing to sacrifice ESCOM because it's a private sector. Remember, it makes money. And most of them, they want money. They are not there to save our country. They are there to get money. So now their intention is to destroy the ESCOM so that it can profit them. Like now, Bakodi mining, now Bajamna. Now they see, okay, kill ESCOM. Let us sabotage that ESCOM so that people can lose hope, so that we can buy that thing if only under Maswaron. Even although never be on forefront, we'll bring our people to go and buy it, but we'll be eating out of that ESCOM. So now, let's sabotage this thing. People will lose hope. That's how ANC, Charlie, everything that is happening in our country, it is just we are so stupid to see what these people are keep on destroying us. You go to Zimbabwe, you find those children, they don't smoke drugs. You go to Malawi, you go wherever. Their country, it makes sure it protects their civilians. You come to our soil,
yeah.
You don't protect them. They are the one who can call the shot. They are the ones who can stop.
Put Andrew yamuzi ukuthi ayabona manje. Sekuvuka ipain, sekuvuke. Put Andrew.
Abuti Andrew.
Put Andrew. No siyamuza put Andrew ngempela manje.
Yeah, I think we understand gore na utswa kae, and I think one of the things so abulela ka tsona Melody gore ke this thing ya gore there's a fear. If you also privatize yona ESCOM at the same time, they're going to make such huge profits, they might not care about the rest of us. And maybe let's bring in Bongani into this conversation. Bongani, ke mang a tshwantse a own energy mo South Africa?
I think to answer that question, we must first understand why do we need...
No,
I'm saying one of the things we have to understand before we answer that question is that South Africans need electricity. It's an essential need.
Is it a right?
I would argue it is a right.
Okay.
And once you have answered that question with what I've said just now, then you will understand that, therefore, it cannot be in the hands of private.
Okay.
Because once it's in the hand of private's only logic is profit making.
Yes.
And once
bottom line.
Yes, that's the bottom line. So once it's in those hands, those people, they'll put pricing basis on how they can maximize their profits. And that then would mean there will be the exclusion of people, of black people who were already excluded before. It will continue now because it was people who are going to have electricity is those who will afford to have electricity.
But Bongani, someone can then argue, we've given the government enough chance.
I would say there's a political question to what you've just said.
Okay.
But let me answer it in this fashion.
Yeah.
What we're seeing happening now within the government, there is no political will to solve the problems within the ESCOM.
Okay.
From the ruling party. And secondly, there's a problem of what Comrade Trevor said on maladministration that's happening there. People are greedy, and people who are given power to help within the ESCOM, they go there just to make money for their own pockets and their friends.
So what you are fearing from privatization is already happening within public.
And this is what NUMSA has historically have argued.
Yes.
When there was that movement from ESCOM taking it into a corporatization of sort, to saying once you enter in that terrain, the logic of private will be seen now within the state-owned entities once you corporatize it. So it's something that we have argued for in the past, and we're still arguing even now, to say there's a need to change of how ESCOM has been run. There's need to be a lot of involvement from the workers, from the community. They all have to have a say on how things are done within the ESCOM. Yes, it was about the IPPs. And let me start here on IPPs. Even on the white paper that was sent to the government in the 1998, already then, the government had an idea of introducing independent power producers by 2003, 2004. But they realized that it is not viable. Hence, they extended the lifespan of these power stations. And we're saying there's a problem with this IPP that is being introduced even now. How it's being introduced? For instance, it is reported of the kilowatts per hour that they will be selling to ESCOM. It's more than what ESCOM will be selling to people. You see, I've even got the price, exact price here with me to share.
But while he's looking for that melody, I think it's important.
Of course, sesaba technical breakdown in that time between but of course, of course, but the effects of load shedding, how does it impact Abantabasha South Africa? And it's when who takes responsibility, because we need to understand the direct impact of Abantabasha when it comes to load shedding.
Yes, so what I was saying with IPP is that the introduction of it will mean also the reducing of the megawatts that comes from coal.
Okay.
And now the IPP average cost now is just 235 cents per kilowatt. But electricity price on the average cost of that is between 93.8 cents to 106.8 cents. So you could see that already ESCOM will be running on a loss when you continue with introducing IPPs in the
I don't want to lie, and I think maybe ukwile melody.
I'm looking at calculator. I mean, we have so many smart people in South Africa. I understand. We talk a bit more about how the economy is being affected this way after the break. Welcome back to Daily Thetha la SABC 1. Ke sahleli phezu kwendaba sakhuluma ngayo ke load shedding and ukhathazeka kwethu njengabantu abasha eSouth Africa when it comes to load shedding, but also we want to understand ukuthi besikhuluma ngeconomy, the youth plays a big part of it. 53% of the youth unemployment in South Africa also affects it, but la zama khona ngathi siyabambe kancane. Thingifaka uPut Africa Mkhangalo, who's just going to give you perspective as the president of the Youth Economic Forum. Putam, welcome to the show. And what's your perspective besikhuluma nje ngento kanje?
Sanbonan, you know, to contextualize it, it obviously has an adverse effect on us, because if you look and study and say, where are youth participating in the economy? So there's been a big drive over the past couple of years to get youth into entrepreneurship, for them to become SMMEs. And we know through all the studies in the world that any thriving economy relies on a majority from SMMEs. So how do you then, the youth that are coming in are in which sectors? Services sector, manufacturing sector, all of those. You can just think, if you have a 9-hour, you're in light manufacturing, you have a 9-hour working shift, and for 4 hours, you don't have electricity. You can't afford a generator because your price increases, so you have to take the knock. So your profit margins take a knock. That then means that affects your credit facility at the bank, because they look at those things. They look, okay, how much money to spare? Can you deliver on all your goods? No, you can now only deliver 50% of them. That means 50% of your income is coming in. Eventually what happens, you cut down your staff.
But I mean, we suffer a lot in things like abantu things time, abantu abasebenza ATM, because those things directly impact abantu abasha. Going to the ATM ngakwazi ukhipha imali affects la enfuna ukuthenga khona cold drink estradeni. How do we maybe start thinking around the participation in solving izinto lezi kancane as we affected?
I mean, I think that's actually one of the good points, that in every problem, this country should talk about the problem, but at the same time allocate enough time to come up with opportunities. you have abundant opportunities now. For instance, you could look at the biofuel industry. It is highly regulated, and perhaps that's what they should be looking at. How do they make it easier for us? But at the same time, if you are able to charge in your car, charge in your car. Be more aware. The person that is more aware, that is more attentive. I heard some people speak about their phones. My phone is forever on because I charge. I'm now paying attention because at any given time, electricity could go out. So there are benefits to it. It does lead to a lot of opportunities. The unfortunate thing is that the red tape that's there is actually so difficult for you to become a supplier into the system.
Sure.
And I know the president did speak about municipalities being able to almost generate their own electricity. But as my brother over there spoke about, the price differential it still gives you such a big knock that you might as well switch off your lights and say, ngizopumula uzobuya ugesi.
And inhlungu kanjalo besiyibuka because end of the day kunabantu abanganawo lawo mathuba who can start thinking on their feet abahleli emakhaya who don't have access to the resources of thought ukuthi at least bengichache 1 hour ezongilasta isikhathi esingaka, which takes me back to the issue of Soweto coming out. Soweto had a bit of a negative social reaction when it says ukuthi okay Soweto bacabanga baspecially yiwayo bakhala, and that's why I probably think more because the social movement in Soweto has been strong for iminyaka eminingi. But also, there's a lot of youth in business in Soweto. Who sees it from afar, and how do you direct it in this conversation?
Intsha yaseSoweto ngazuthi inayo ingqondo and iphiwe. Kusho nje into abangayitholi amathuba njengoba esho ubhuti la. Yeah. So khona manje angithi uyazi Soweto ukuthi uma ngabe Eskom esihlasela ngo-1999 ecisha at the rate of 20,000 houses per month, i-youth yatrainwa ukuthi ilayithele abantu abacishele ogogo. So
illegally or legally?
Singathi appropriation, social appropriation. Yeah, ngoba kushuthi ngaleso sikhathi othi ngikhuluma into mhlawumbe lingayazi, sasine slogan sithi it is better to break the law than to break the poor. Angithi yabo. Yeah, so ke le youth mayingathathwa kune campaign okuthiwa a million climate jobs. Mayingathathwa le youth le itrainwe ukukhanda installa ama solar panel.
Sure.
Kushuthi ugesi lo welanga. Angithi yeah kube yona elungisayo makuphukile ilungise. And then nakhona kwa Eskom i-youth hlezi ekhaya itrainwe ukuthi ikhanda imshini njengoba eshusisa ukuthi ama-engineers ahamba. Nakhona kuma-university bangalokhu bekhuluma nge-4th industrial revolution kutrainwe abantu ukuthi bakwazi usilungisela ugesi. Ikhona i-youth. Yeah.
Ngixolise ungene emlomeni. Ngiya-understand uphuzo olubekayo. Liyangithusa kancane because ubugebengu iy'nyoka siqhubeka from thoughts of that. But angazi maybe from an educational element we can chat a bit about it in the college because esayithini lami kunamapoint engangazi kahle.
And I think Simpiwe is putting it, load shedding is very costly as we have to buy gas stoves, wood, candles, paraffin. Our electrical appliances get damaged now and again because we have uninterrupted power supply. House break-ins are also high and our lives are in danger. Indeed, it is a national disaster. I think a lot of us, when we talk about we always talk about it from an economic level. But let's talk about quality of life. Let's talk about things like education, Rochelle. How does that impact, the quality that we're giving to our children, to the youth, to everybody else?
Thank you. As the youth,
yes,
right. When you go to college,
yes,
and you've got an assignment that you need to hand in, and you not waiting last minute, but you studied the whole night, you wrote your report and everything. Tomorrow that has to be handed in. There's no lights. Now you go to the closest place to go and photocopy or print out. There's still no lights. That affects your mark. It affects you in your whole entire education line. Now, when it comes to the students, the kids, they've got something called a smart board. How is that teacher going to teach on that day if the electricity is off? How is the kids going to move from one side of the school to the other side if it's not an open school?
Yes.
There's certain things that happen in the dark when it comes to students, when it comes to females. Scary things, especially, the corners. So if there's no lights, then there's no life. There's really no life. I mean, look at here. We have got lights right now. If there was no lights, there would be no show.
Hey,
So
don't say that.
let's
because
be
we have to
realistic.
work, we can't
Let's
have-
be realistic.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic.
And I think you said something very important. Abuti said, "Ubulela ka taba la gore there are scary things that happen in the dark. Crime.
Can I tell you, drugs are now sold even to legal kids in schools in the dark. Children are being raped, never mind women, because of the darkness. I still go back. The sunset clause has put us into the sunset. And this sunset happens to be this darkness that we're experiencing.
This darkness that
Hold
creates
on,
crime.
you asked a question.
Yes.
Is it? I told you that you've got the wrong person. No, I'm a stone thrower. I won't change.
Yes.
Let me just tell you this.
Yes.
The Municipality Act, Municipality Systems Act of
Number 32.
Number 32. Which year is this?
Of 2000.
2000. It says that it guarantees the right of the citizens of basic municipality services in places, and it places a legal obligation on the local government to provide these basic. You know what are those? That includes sanitation,
electricity.
Hello?
Come on.
Hello?
Come on.
Do they do it? Vote them out.
Okay.
This is what must happen.
Marabuti said, "Takonya kun ropa kere." Eh, uskan ropa. Mamela pay.
They don't even submit assignments in schools because they then say there was no electricity.
And that's
Once
what
they've done their work.
That's what I want to ask.
So,
the rise in crime, as you spoke about the drugs, the rates, is that a direct correlation to load shedding?
Can I just? It is, because it carries also the moral side of things.
Okay.
It carries also the legal side of things.
Yes.
So when you look at the issue of this electricity supply and other forms of supplies, you must look at them not only from the political and economic. It's not only business people that get affected.
Of course.
A go there without an oxygen tank dies. I went visiting a clinic, let me be blunt, Orlando Clinic.
Yeah.
I came to Orlando Clinic, it was dark, and people nurses could not supply any form of help to our gogos in Orlando East. And in Fenton, you'll get them all.
Hey.
Nicolette, yabona ubamsete uyangichaza because he's spreading all the problems this is cabangayo.
Yeah.
Now the question is, South Africa, what are the solutions? Besbuya. Sesibhekile inkinga zethu seqhubena inkulumo, and we're just speaking a bit further like with Thetha ku SABC 1 ngenkinga esinazo with load shedding, and we've spread out through education nezinto eziningi, but sesihleli sithi okay, we have an opportunity to speak about solutions, but thinking back, we've spent already over about 200 billion in terms of trying to solve this with Medupe coal power station, but also I want to bring you back into this conversation because now the biggest problem we have as abantu abasha ukuthi we've seen different opportunities that have been there, but we've struggled to see progress out of them. What will change now if we move into nuclear or solar?
I wouldn't say much would change.
Okay.
Because as you mentioned earlier, if we can't manage what we currently have,
Yeah.
what makes something new manageable? They're bringing in IPPs, which is private companies.
What is IPPs, just for someone who's sitting at home?
Independent power producers.
Okay.
So this is sort of like private companies that are coming in and offering their services to the public. Solar, biogen, biomass, all these renewable advanced technologies. But that leads due down the road of privatization. And as the gentleman across said, then we want to make our coffers bigger. So we're going back to the same problem.
So what do we do? You're not sure?
It's a good question.
Okay, let me bring in my brother here. I mean, you are working in this space. I mean, you work in the solar space, and we've seen a lot of houses in like South Africa that have started to utilize it, but also it's not as cheap. Is it a solution right now?
So the introduction of solar technology for residential house usage or for application in residential dwellings is certainly an alternative that we need to begin to consider as a country. And I say this for various reasons. So the first reason is we already have a backlog of electricity as things stand. We cannot get electricity to the desired rural villages or dispersed areas that would like to power up as we had promised our electorate. But solar technology provides an opportunity to have this distributed form of electricity, which allows you to put up a set of panels over a couple of hours, and all of a sudden that household has got power.
Yeah.
Now you mitigate the costs which are associated with the transmission lines. You mitigate costs which are associated with the running cost of the input fuel, which is the coal. Now, this is not to say solar technology is the be-it-all or is the holy grail. No.
Yeah.
There are certain technologies which are ideal for certain applications. A lot like you would with a car. If you reside in Braamfontein and you want to move around Braamfontein, it makes absolutely no sense for you to have an SUV that fits 7 people for you to travel less than a kilometer to work. Whereas a scooter would be more ideal, it would be low on fuel, and you'd be able to maneuver the traffic that everybody else is crying about. So coal power stations, very ideal for large industries, for base load requirements, nuclear power alike. But if you're looking at renewable energy, particularly solar PV, because South Africa has got the best conditions for that, then it is a no-brainer to get electricity not only to me and you in the urban areas who are only crying about intermittent supply, but to those who have never ever enjoyed the gift of having electricity within their own homes.
Let me ask you this, my brother. What has been your biggest challenge? And just in short, in terms of someone who's in that space and trying to grow it.
Yes. So the biggest challenge, in one little sentence, is that we don't have the capital to compete with the big mafias that are coming from offshore. We know the technology. We went to school for it. There are many other people like us. It is not rocket science. We are not the smartest people in the world. But we don't have the money to put up the capital to have a 200 megawatt solar facility. When we're invited to participate, we need to buy an application form for no less than 5,000 or 10,000 or even more. This was then. I don't know how it is now. Barriers are very high.
To buy an application form, but for 5,000, 10,000 to challenge.
But when you were speaking, but I think Chivume, the one thing that I got from you, and I think I want to bring your partner Almond into the conversation. Kore, you said it's a no-brainer, ne? But you're a businessman. So going back to what Bongani said, bottom line for Lona, Ering, can you go to what are your interests? Are your interests your bottom line or your interest for South Africans?
Yeah. It's a difficult question that you're asking, but as someone in business, I should say with every challenge, there's an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
So it begins even out of the scope of South Africa. You look at the sub-Saharan African region, we have over 600 million people who don't have access to electricity. Now, in every 10 people, easily 7 do not have access to electricity. Now, what characterizes the supply of electricity that we have currently in Africa or South Africa? It's Yes. So, yazinkinga izoba kuphi ukuthi most of these things as you are getting them they come ngesingisi. And even my preparation was in English, but ngizozama. So inkinga ukuthi mawubheka i-youth yanamhlanje, how do you characterize us? Energetic, creative, vibrant. Mawuthatha wonke lama characteristics wafaka to solving problems, access to information, access to forums whereby we can discuss things like this. Good information comes out which we use to come up with solutions. In the absence of that, we talk about chaos. We go out, drugs, unrest, and so on and so forth. So this is, we always say, electricity is the #1 barrier to socio-economic development. If you want basic supplies in education, health, water, and so on and so forth, you need electricity. Now, we can't go back and cry and say, because currently there's a lack thereof, then we're going to despair. No.
Because we're kind of wrapping up the show, but I think there was a very important question, and I just want you, Phil, to quickly say it, because I want Putbongani to Raikwale.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Phil Mutsi, aka BZ Poison Inc. So, Mr. Bongani, what I would like to know is that, because since I'm a recording artist, I'm an actor, me and my team, we have experienced a lot of loss regarding our work to load shedding. So we'd like to know if the government has ever thought of like something like a recourse or compensation or things like that.
As the Youth Forum, Bongani.
As I've said earlier on, as I said earlier on that there's the problem with political will from government. The engagement, as far as I know now, in terms of compensating when there's a loss, it has not been tabled, as far as I know. But here's a problem that I think we all need to think about, and what also as trade unions we have started now to actually engage on, is using the policies that the government has to that governs the tariffs. How can we enter that space to ensure that we compensate some of the losses that people...
And how do you enable Lamo Solar?
Well, as I'm a socialist, and I believe that I believe in socially owned renewable energy sector. I believe that there need to be establishment of cooperatives of renewable energies where society will be able to create jobs, young people will be able to take part, but not in a sense of making profit, but also to provide that essential service and also have sustained their lives. So I believe in that.
Okay, I'm worried about that because young people, Chivume and Elmond, but the solution, but solar power, we think that it is appropriate for certain areas of South Africa. And then we've got some of the committees that are fighting this energy crisis, and they're saying we need to move in a socialistic space. So, Ricky, what are we saying?
Understand the situation, Jacob. Try find ways to save electricity, find ways for you to use it efficiently. We are back. We're speaking about the coronavirus. Is South Africa ready to deal with it?
10:30 to 11:30, only on SABC 1. Thank you very much.